What's going on, people? It is Irish Gunner HD here, you can call me Irish, and welcome to episode 10 of Will It Drift. So, today's episode features the Mitsubishi Starion, which was suggested by a gentleman by the name of Warby Games. I believe that's his YouTube channel name and his Twitter account, Warby Games, W-A-R-B-Y Games. So, check him out on YouTube, he does some cool Forza videos. But yeah, so the Mitsubishi Starion, so as standard, it comes with 188 horsepower, 233 foot-pounds of torque, and it weighs 3,087 pounds. So, Mitsubishi Starion, let's just say, it's a cool car, okay? It's the first Mitsubishi that they've had in Forza, I believe, that comes with rear-wheel drive. And I remember when Forza 4 first came out, we were all kind of excited. It was like, oh, is the Evo going to get rear-wheel drive swaps and all? It didn't, so we were quite disappointed. But as far as the Starion goes, I've never actually built one, which may come as a surprise. I've never built a Starion before, so this is my first ever one. So I'm getting like my facts and stuff like that just as surprisingly as you are. So I was surprised to find that it is awful as standard. It has no power and no torque. Yeah, 188 horsepower in real life is a lot. It's almost 200 horsepower. 233 foot-pounds of torque again. It's a lot. But not in the game. Also there's endless amounts of body roll. The car just wobbles here and there and doesn't really do much of anything. It really cannot link corners. There's not enough power there whatsoever. And it's probably the worst yet that I've come across as a standard car. But for the medium build, we're up to 227 horsepower, up from 188. 244 foot-pounds of torque, up from 233, and it's down to 2,493 pounds, up from 3,087, and it's a bit better. The more power obviously means it can reach the next corner a little easier, but there's it's still by no means linking corners as far as drifting in the drifting sense goes. Although I will say the modifications that I put in were sport camshafts, race springs, race weight reduction, all the drivetrain mods like clutch and all that up to race, and I just put on the Weld Magnum 3 wheels, and that's just because I wanted to paint them black for the full build because they look awesome when they're black. But yeah, even with all the with the springs, there's a lot less body roll, which is a really good thing from the get-go. Having less body roll in a drift car is really what you want. You don't want a whole lot of body fat flopping everywhere. But and then at this stage with this medium kind of build, I was really optimistic for the full build. I was like, okay, so we're getting somewhere now. We can actually kind of drift corners. It may not be linking them so well, but there's no body roll. And surely just a good bit more power would do the job, so we'll see how that turns out. So I ended up painting it this kind of 90s shade of turquoise, bluey, greeny colour, and then again I painted the Weld Magnums black. But now up to full build, we've got 333 horsepower. Not a lot, not a big increase, but anyway, 333 horsepower, 359 foot-pounds of torque, 2,532 pounds of weight. It actually went up, believe it or not, from 2,493, but I'm assuming that's just all the added parts. Sorry, that increased the weight. And then as far as mods go, it's a full build, full tune, like I would build and tune on the other car. And I had to say, I was surprised by how little horsepower it was. I mean, 333 horsepower at max build. I'm not going for an R3 class points drifter where everything's maxed out. I'm going for a sensible actual real drift build on Forza, and there was just no horsepower in it. 333 for a drift car, unless it's like a hatchy or something like that, is not a lot. The lack of horsepower then obviously means that it struggles trying to link corners, and it struggles through long corners. Any long extended corner that you have to try and drift through, it's just going to completely struggle that. Or struggle through that, sorry. Other than that, it seems fine. If I had more horsepower, it would be grand. It's controllable, it's all good, it's fine, but it almost feels like a VTEC in a weird way, that the power just all of a sudden comes on at some stage, and then other than that, below 4,000 revs or so, there's just nothing there. But yeah, I guess the question is, will it drift? And the answer is, perhaps. And I say that because it will drift, but I think you'd have to be a very good tuner or builder or something like that to get it to kind of tandem well. I do see it being a drifter, and I have seen it in public lobbies and stuff. But as far as an actual like fully built like 500 horsepower S class like regular run of the mill drift car, it's not one of them. It's one of them. It's the kind of car that's like, if you want a kind of low powered slider, yeah, you can probably get it to work. Again, I'm not the best tuner in the world, but you probably are. If you're listening to this, you probably are one of the better tuners, and you could probably get it to work. But I couldn't personally, so I didn't want to say no, because it actually does drift and it does like kind of stay sideways. And in the hands of the right tuner, like I said, you probably could get it to work. But for me, didn't work quite so well. So I'm gonna stick with perhaps for this one. It's been a while since I did a wheel drift actually, so I'm happy to get one of these out there. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching the video, and goodbye.